You know, it's amazing when you think about it. There's this global market right now worth over, what, $45 billion?
That's right.
And it's set to almost double. So around $90 billion in like the next 8 years or so. An incredible
We're talking
trajectory.
about veterinary therapeutics. So medicines, treatments for animals, that kind of growth, that 9% yearly rate, it really tells you something, doesn't it?
It really does. It speaks volumes about how vital this industry is becoming.
Yeah, not just, for our pets, which is huge, but also for the global food supply. It touches everything.
Absolutely.
So what's behind this massive expansion? We've got this industry report, and we thought we'd dive in and unpack the key trends shaping it all.
Exactly. And seeing numbers like that, well, it confirms we're looking at something really significant. These reports, they're incredibly detailed.
Right.
They give us the market size, the growth, sure, but also how it all breaks down, byproduct types, vaccines, drugs, all that stuff.
And the animals too, I suppose. Pets versus livestock. Precisely. Pets, livestock, even how the medicines are given, where you get them, the whole picture.
Okay.
So our mission here really is to pull out the most important insights for you, give you a clear, concise understanding of where this whole conference industry is actually heading.
Yeah, exactly. Because it's not just numbers on a page, is it?
Yeah.
I mean, livestock health directly impacts the food on our plates, the prices.
Definitely.
And, well, for many of us, our pets are family, so their health is a huge priority. We're all connected to this market somehow.
We really are.
Okay, so let's dig into those details. That $45.2 billion figure for 2025, projected to hit $90.1 billion by 2033.
Mm-hmm.
And that's growing at that compound annual growth rate, the CAGR of 9%.
Right, and that CAGR, it's basically like a smoothed out average growth each year over that whole forecast period.
Which is, what, 2025 to 2033? Based on data starting from 2024.
That's the one. It gives us that valuable long-term perspective, lets us see the momentum.
And like you said, the report doesn't just stop at the big global number, it slices it up.
It does. So by product outlook, you've got drugs, vaccines, and also medicated feed additives.
Medicated feed additives.
Yeah.
So that stuff mixed into animal feed for health.
Essentially, yes, to improve health, prevent disease, that kind of thing. Very important in livestock.
Okay. And then the animal type outlook.
That splits between companion animals, basically our pets, and livestock animals.
Makes sense. And it even looks at how the treatments are given.
Yep, route of administration. Right. So oral, parenteral, which usually means injections, and then others.
Right.
And finally, distribution channels where you actually get these things. Think veterinary hospitals and clinics, pharmacies, drugstores, and again, others.
Wow, okay. That's quite a breakdown.
It is, and it's key because the forces driving, say, demand for a new dog medication might be totally different from those driving livestock vaccine demand.
Right. So let's talk about those driving forces then. What's pushing this growth? The report highlights the growing interest in livestock products and rising pet ownership.
Yes, that's a primary one. More animals, whether for food or companionship, naturally means more demand for healthcare products to keep them healthy and productive.
And tied into that livestock side, the demand for high-quality protein is rising globally, isn't it?
Absolutely. More meat consumption, dairy, and so on. That puts immense pressure on ensuring livestock health. So you need those advanced medications, vaccines, the feed additives we mentioned, just to keep up and keep animals healthy.
It also mentioned zoonotic diseases as a driver, things jumping from animals to humans.
A huge factor, especially recently. Think about COVID-19, avian flu, rabies. These raise serious concerns.
Yeah.
And that boosts demand for, well, everything, therapeutics, vaccines, better prevention in animal populations. The report even notes more research funding flowing into this specific area.
Which makes total sense. It's animal health and public health.
Precisely. Investing in veterinary therapeutics is, in a way, investing in our own health security, too.
And on the pet side of things,
Mm-hmm.
there's this trend, the humanization of pets, as the report calls it.
Oh, definitely. We see this everywhere. Pets are family.
Right. And that means people are more willing to spend on their well-being, seeking out better medical care, advanced therapies, specialty drugs, things you might not have considered years ago.
That emotional connection is a really powerful economic force. As pets become integral family members, spending on their health just naturally increases. People want the best for them.
And one more driver mentioned, partnerships. Like between the big pharma companies and the vet clinics.
Yes, those collaborations are really important. They help speed up the development of new innovative therapies and, crucially, get them distributed more effectively.
So vets get access to newer treatments faster.
Exactly. And the companies get real-world feedback. It's a beneficial cycle that ultimately helps the animals. Better access, better treatments.
Okay, so it's mostly a positive picture, but growth isn't always smooth sailing. Are there restraints, things holding the market back?
Yes, the report does point some out. A major one is simply the rising cost of veterinary care.
Yeah. Anyone with a pet probably feels that.
Right. Everything's getting more expensive. Checkups, diagnostics, treatments, the prescription drugs themselves. Plus, the R&D for these new therapies is costly. And general inflation on medical supplies plays a role, too.
So high costs can be a barrier.
It absolutely can. It's a significant factor limiting how fast the market can expand, especially if people have to make tough choices about affording care.
And related to that, I guess, is pet insurance. The report mentions low coverage.
That's another key challenge, particularly in developing nations. Pet insurance isn't widespread, so when a big, unexpected vet bill comes up,
People might struggle to pay.
exactly. It can lead to treatment being postponed or sometimes, sadly, skipped altogether. It raises real questions about affordability and access.
Yeah, how do you make sure these advanced treatments are actually available to the animals that need them, regardless of, where they live or what their owner can afford?
It's a complex issue.
Okay, let's shift gears a bit and look at the geography. How does this play out globally? The report says North America is the biggest market.
It is, by a significant margin, holding over 37% of the global share in 2025. That's about $16.7 billion.
Wow. And growing steadily.
Yep, projected CAGR of 7.5% through 2033.
What's driving that dominance in North America?
Well, it's a combination of factors. High rates of pet ownership, for one. A real focus on pet health care generally.
Okay.
Plus, a huge, well-established livestock industry. And there's also this trend towards more customized preventative care for animals gaining traction there.
And within North America, the U.S. is the giant, I assume.
Predictably, yes. About $13.2 billion in 2025, growing at 7.3%. Canada's around $2 billion, growing a bit faster at 8.3%. And Mexico is about $1.5 billion, growing at 8%.
Interesting. So the U.S. market is mature but still growing, while Canada and Mexico show maybe slightly more room for expansion.
That's a reasonable interpretation, yeah.
Right. Crossing the pond to Europe,
Yeah.
second largest market.
That's right. Over 29% share in 2025, valued at roughly $13.1 billion, and they're projected to grow at 8% annually.
What supports the market in Europe?
Several things. You've got pretty strict animal health regulations in place. High standards for pet care are common. And there's often significant government support for animal welfare initiatives, too.
Which countries stand out in Europe?
The report highlights the UK around $2.2 billion market, growing at a strong 8.8%. Germany is the largest in value at $2.6 billion, growing at 8.2%, and France about $1.2 billion, growing at 7.2%.
So strong established markets there. That slightly higher UK growth is interesting.
Could be specific market dynamics, maybe post-Brexit regulations or trends. It's hard to say just from the overview.
Now, the report flags Asia-Pacific APAC as the fastest growing region. What kind of numbers are we seeing there?
Impressive ones. A projected CAGR of 11.8% from 2025 to 2033. The market size in 2025 is already substantial, nearly $11 billion, $10.9 billion to be precise.
Wow, nearly 12% growth year on year. What's fueling that fire?
It's really a confluence of factors. You've got booming livestock farming and rapidly increasing pet ownership across many APAC countries.
Yeah.
Add to that a growing awareness of animal health issues, plus the need for advanced treatments for new or emerging diseases in the region. It's just a massive growth opportunity.
And within APAC, China and India are key.
Absolutely key. China's market is huge, $4.6 billion in 2025, growing at 11.3%. And India, while starting smaller at $1.1 billion, has a projected growth rate of 13.7%. Really remarkable. It just highlights the enormous potential there. Rising incomes mean more pets, and modernizing agriculture means more focus on livestock health.
Okay, let's quickly touch on the other region, South America.
Valued at $1.7 billion in 2025, projected growth around 9.7%. A lot of that is tied to its role in livestock production and the demand for feed and health products.
Yeah.
Brazil's a big player there, $735 million, growing over 10%.
And the Middle East.
Around $1.8 billion in 2025, also growing strongly at 10.3%. Key drivers seem to be increasing pet ownership and just generally more awareness about animal health. Saudi Arabia is notable, about $637 million, growing at 10.6%.
So changing lifestyles playing a role there.
Seems like it, yeah. More disposable income, more focus on pets.
And finally, Africa.
Starting from a smaller base, around $995 million in 2025, but still solid growth projected at 9.3%. Similar to South America, it's linked to growing livestock production and increasing awareness. South Africa is a key market, about $350 million, growing over 10%.
Okay, thanks for that world tour. Let's switch back to the products themselves. The report says vaccines are expected to dominate the market overall.
Yes, that's the expectation. It makes sense when you think about it. Disease prevention is fundamental, especially with intensive livestock farming, but also for our pets.
Right, prevention is better than cure.
Exactly. Vaccines are key for preventing infectious diseases, which improves animal welfare, boosts productivity in livestock, and, importantly, helps ensure food safety, reduces that zoonotic risk, too.
But interestingly, while vaccines are dominant, the fastest growing segment is actually drugs.
That's what the report indicates, yes. It seems to be fueled by a rise in diagnosed infections, parasites, chronic conditions, basically more things needing active treatment.
So for pets, that might be things like pain relief, antibiotics.
Mm-hmm. And for livestock, maybe growth promoters, treatments for infections, a whole range of pharmaceuticals. As diagnostics get better and owners are more aware, the demand for effective drugs just keeps rising.
Now, if we slice the market by animal type, companion animals, pets, have the largest share currently.
They do, and that links directly back to what we discussed, rising pet ownership, the humanization trend, people wanting advanced care and preventative options for their pets.
That strong emotional bond translates to market share.
It really does. It drives a huge market for everything from routine checkups to complex surgeries and long-term medications.
But the livestock animal segment is expanding rapidly.
Oh, very rapidly. And that's tied directly to the growing global need for animal-based foods. Meat, dairy, eggs.
Food security demands.
Precisely. Keeping livestock healthy and productive is absolutely critical for meeting those demands. So effective treatments for livestock diseases become essential, driving growth in that segment.
Okay, nearly there. Let's quickly cover how these things are given and where they're sold. Route of administration injections or parenteral hold the biggest share.
Currently, yes. They offer quick action, precise dosing, which is vital for serious illnesses or for giving vaccinations effectively, especially in large herds or flocks, but also for companion animals in critical situations.
But the fastest growing route is oral, taking medicine by mouth.
That's the trend. It's often just more convenient, easier for owners or handlers to administer, less invasive.
Makes sense. If you can give your dog a pill instead of an injection.
You probably will, if it's effective. And advancements are making oral meds more palatable and easier to give, which helps boost their popularity.
And finally, distribution. Veterinary hospitals and clinics are the main channel.
By far the largest share, they're the central hub for diagnosis, treatment, prevention. As vet medicine gets more complex, the reliance on these professional settings just grows. They have the expertise, the equipment.
They're the gatekeepers, in a way.
You could say that. They provide the meds, but also the crucial knowledge on how and when to use them safely and effectively.
But pharmacies and drugstores are growing fast as a channel.
They are. As pet ownership increases and livestock farming remains significant, these retail spots become more important access points for getting routine medications, preventatives, that kind of thing, more convenient for many people.
Okay, so let's try and wrap this up, this deep dive. It really shows a booming veterinary therapeutics market, doesn't it?
Absolutely. Dynamic, growing fast.
Driven heavily by, well, our love for pets and the world's need for food from animals, plus those zoonotic disease concerns.
Drivers, definitely.
But challenges too, especially rising costs. Regionally, APAC is the one to watch for speed, while North America holds the current top spot.
And product-wise, vaccines are king, but drugs are catching up fast in terms of growth rate.
What really stands out to me is how interconnected it all is.
Yeah.
Social trends like pet humanization, economic needs like food security, public health worries, they all feed into this market.
It's a really complex interplay, isn't it? Not just one thing. And those regional differences really highlight how diverse animal health care needs are globally.
Which leads us nicely to a final thought for you, the listener. As our scientific understanding of animal health keeps rocketing forward, and as that bond with our pets, for many of us, just gets deeper, how does this whole veterinary therapeutics landscape need to evolve?
Mm.
How will it keep up with these growing global needs and challenges?
Yeah, it makes you think, doesn't it? What will the next innovations be? How will care delivery change? How will shifting views on animal welfare continue to shape this vital market? It's definitely a space full of potential and, frankly, pretty significant implications for all of us.
Absolutely. And hey, if any particular region or product type we talked about today caught your interest, definitely dig deeper. There's always more to learn.